Now, a legal battle is brewing over the fate of Kenya's electoral boundaries after Attorney General Dorcas Oduor moved to the Supreme Court to block the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, from seeking an advisory on boundary delimitation. The dispute comes as the country grapples with missed deadlines, a leadership vacuum at the IEBC, and a fresh court ruling that complicates the process even further. Michelle Ngele tells us more.
Kenya's electoral boundaries are in limbo. The boundary review, a constitutional requirement for fair representation, is now entangled in legal battles, political maneuvering, and a leadership vacuum at the IEBC. A High Court ruling, a mini census order, and calls to amend the constitution have further complicated the process. And now, Attorney General Dorcas Oduor has taken the fight to the Supreme Court, seeking to block the IEBC from seeking guidance on the process.
I'm actually so surprised that the Attorney General will go and stop the issuance of an opinion by the Supreme Court. That's quite surprising to me. I don't entirely buy that idea that the absence of commissioners does not mean the absence of an IEBC. If you invoke that principle of necessity, the work of IEBC should not stop just because there is no commissioner. You don't fold up an office just because there is no CEO. Somebody has to act. Somebody has to do the work that needs to be done. So
where does this leave the 2027 elections?
Political class that is responsible for controlling the IEBC so that they are not able to undertake their constitutional mandate. That's where we should direct the discussion. Why is there so much delay? For example, if you look at, the selection panel, I have nothing against any of those guys. But by the time you have got an advisor to the president being a panelist, you can clearly tell where the bias will be. This is a control measure. I mean, you have people like Adam Solo, who are President William Ruto's advisors, So you want to tell me that he will not take instruction from his boss, who he is advising? So I think for me, the constitution of the old panel is very problematic for me.
Adding to the complications, a High Court ruling last Wednesday annulled the 2019 census results for Mandera, Wajir, and Garissa counties over data inconsistencies. The court has ordered a fresh mini census to be completed by January 2026, further delaying any boundary adjustments in these regions. Meanwhile, the government has set up a 9-member selection panel to recruit new IEBC commissioners. It is anticipated that the country could have a fully reconstituted commission by mid this year. Article 89, Section 2 of the Constitution of Kenya stipulates that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission shall review the names and boundaries of constituencies at intervals of not less than 8 years and not more than 12 years. But any review shall be completed at least 12 months before a general election of members of parliament. But even if the commission is reconstituted soon, there are concerns over whether IEBC will be able to review the boundaries in time. With time running out and a legal battle now in court, Kenya faces a critical question. Will the 2027 elections be held under outdated electoral boundaries, or will a last-minute constitutional amendment push the process forward? Michelle Ngele Odhiambo, NTV.